Guys, hello everyone, welcome back. This is going to be today's topic video is going to be for the 22nd of September. So as always, you guys can enter to win a free read with me by writing the word compassion in the comment section, being a subscriber to the channel, and giving this video a thumbs up. Those three things get you entered to win. I do choose one subscriber each week to get a free reading with me, and I always do that reading publicly. So it'll be at the tail end of one of these videos somewhere in a week. So be watching for that. If you are entering to win, you'll want to make sure you watch every day to see if you are one of the winners. All right, let's go ahead and see where this storyline takes us. By the way, it is the autumnal equinox on the 22nd. So I'll be doing, although this comes out before the 22nd, I try to always make sure that I stick to that routine of getting these out a couple days in advance of the day that it's dated for. And that's just because I know people watch that are all around the world in different time zones. But just FYI, I will be doing some videos specific for the autumnal equinox on the day of where I'm located. So this will come out a little bit beforehand, but we'll do some other things specific for that. Angelic assistance and divine masculine. Ooh, this is really nice. Divine guidance, loving support, electric and active power. We got some testosterone in the house, divine masculine. We've got the power of the sun. We've got action taking. Now keep in mind, we all have divine masculine and feminine energy within us, right? We all have a balance of everything within us. But right now, this is focusing on powering up and giving that grace to the divine masculine energy. And as I said, that's a action taking. That's a power of the sun. So it's almost like, oh, I'm so excited to see this. I can't wait to see where this reading goes, because it's going to be like energizing something that already wants to take action, the side of ourselves or the side of this character. Maybe this is someone who identifies as a divine masculine as our lead character, or maybe it's just that energy within someone. This could still be a feminine, for example, but ooh, we have a Queen of Cups. Hold on. So we definitely have a strong feminine energy with the Queen of Cups and a strong masculine energy, and then we have the divine sitting between them at this point, right? Let's go ahead and let's change decks and break this down one piece at a time. What is the influence first of the angelic assistance? It's card number 6. By the way, I only read those oracle cards in the upright, so you saw me turn them because that's how they have to go. 3 of Cups to the 4 of Cups, Knight of Swords to the Queen of Swords, the 9 of Cups to the 10 of Cups. Oh my gosh. And the 2 of Wands to the 3 of Wands. No matter how we read this, the angelic assistance is the divine is encouraging. Well, obviously it's encouraging something divine, right? Because that's the divine is never going to encourage something negative or toxic. But what we have is this lovely, lovely energy of, okay, acknowledge where there has been a missed opportunity, acknowledge it, and then approach it, handle it. If the divine masculine has dreams of breaking free, running like that wild stallion and rushing into the queen, now's the time. It's the time to do it. It's the time to go. It's a time to say, wait a second, things don't have to be, this love story doesn't have to be over, or this unhappiness doesn't have to linger, or the belief. Maybe this is a divine masculine who for a period of time felt really beaten down, felt really just like life. Maybe they felt like they'd messed up. Maybe they feel like there's no way I can get this back on track. And the divine says, of course you can. Of course there's, no matter what, you've messed up. Yeah, humans mess up. If they felt like, yeah, but everybody saw me mess up. Yeah, but everybody's going to see them restore themselves as well. This is a comeback story for sure, and it's being supported by the divine. To have that 9 of Cups to the 10 of Cups is somebody coming home. We keep getting a storyline like this. We've had something about coming home for a while. This could be, the wayward, son or daughter finally gets to come back home to the family, and the welcome that they get is so warm and it's so wonderful. This could be the lover who felt like I had something so special, so sacred, and I lost it, and I've been sitting in that loss for a long time. I've been wanting to come racing back in, And the divine is like, do that thing, do the thing that you want, the thing that, you know, in your every waking thought, or your every daydream, or your every fantasy, or your every, you know, thing that you think of before you fall, you know, to sleep at night. Do that thing. Go where you keep being urged to go. I feel like this person keeps daydreaming about it in particular. Like whatever they're doing in the daytime, their mind drifts to, I need to break free. I need to go race in, and this is where I need to head. I don't want to be single, solo, and alone. I want to be here in, like, back in the fold. I want to be, you notice that this 10 of cups, we go from the 9 to the 10 of cups on this. This person's walking right back into the place where they feel home, and they're being warmly welcomed. We have the, I don't know, could I ever be welcomed back? I feel like this is someone who is either like life has made them feel like it's amplified the mistakes that they made. And this one, we do see a character who has a lot of regret. So they might have made mistakes and they really regret that. They also have wanted to change things for quite some time, but really haven't known if they could. And the divine keeps saying, do the thing that would be the most important thing here. First, yes, feel the regret. Regret is good. Regret tells us the thing that we need to correct. That's why we have that emotion. It's like, I messed this up. I wish I hadn't have done that. Well, damn, maybe I could fix that. All right. You know, regret, guilt, remorse, those things have a place in life because it tells us very clearly, this was an error. I need to correct this. Unless it's misplaced guilt and things like that. And that's a whole nother story. But this is pretty clear cut on this one. But I do feel like this character had maybe gotten stuck or wallowed in their mistakes. And this is their way back. The divine keeps saying, darling, there's a way back. Darling, go after the good thing. Go after the restoration. Go after the you know, desire that you keep daydreaming about. Go toward the queen. Go toward home. Go toward the future that you want to have. Don't spend time wishing for something but not taking any steps to that thing that you wish for. So no more questioning, just go ahead and go make it happen. Walk into the future. The future in this case is to give it their all, to go after the thing that they really want. This masculine, or I should just keep to making sure that I say divine masculine, so it's very clear I'm only talking about energy, not about gender. This is somebody who has wanted to do this for a long time, but there were things that were preventing them. And in this case, the angelic guidance here is, don't keep waiting. Go do what you need to do. You know what it is. You know it clear as day, because you keep feeling this, both the sorrow combined with the desire to quickly make a change. Just do it, you know, make the positive change. This is always about positive shifting. It's never going to be, you know, like, oh, we'll go do something that's toxic, because this is angelic. Tell me now just about the divine. Who are they? Where have they been? They've been working. This is so awesome. This divine masculine has been working their patooties off. And they've been doing it to restore not only how they feel about themselves, but possibly they've been doing it for love. This person's been doing a ton of work on themselves. That's the thing. I wonder if they're like, have I worked at this long enough? Have I restored enough in myself? Can I step forward? You know, this is like, when we make mistakes in life, and first we've, you know, like when we realize the gravity of the mistakes our character has made, it might have first really just knocked them like, oh my God, flat on their back. You know, sometimes it hits people really hard when they realize, what have I done? And then there's that time of like shame and almost hiding out. And then there's a time of, I've got to do something. I've got to start working on this and dealing with, you know, my regret, my shame. And then maybe like, wow, I need to work on loving me too. I've got to heal myself. I got to understand, why did I make that mistake? Why am I feeling this way? Because there's no way to continue to live. That means I got to make those positive changes. So they start doing that. And then they get to the place where it's like, okay, I am getting better. I'm getting stronger. Now the thing that I really want, which is to basically go back in time and erase that mistake I made. Can I do that? Can I face it? Am I strong enough to do this now? Can I wash that mistake away? And that's the kind of the question mark. And here with the angelic guidance, it says, you done good. You done good. So I heard a loud sound and it caught my attention, and Aries too. It's Hierophant. They've been asking themselves, what do they believe in? They've been figuring out what is really sacred in their life. They've been figuring out what has been oppressive but not sacred, what has been, belief systems that they adhered to that maybe they don't necessarily believe in, where there has been just expectation of how they were supposed to behave without really asking themselves, is that true for me? They've been questioning all that, and they've been finding what is true for them. Could be dealing with the Taurus energy, that stubborn but also sense of stability. Like, we can talk about, oh, that person is stubborn, or we can say, wow, that person is like, they're really methodical, they're really slow to make those like define, what is true, what is not, what do I need to let go of, what do I need to believe more wholeheartedly in, what is true for me, what do I want to commit to. That's what this looks like to me. Someone who's been working on deciding that. And then to have this Page of Coins, they may feel a little out of their league as far as what actions they take, but inside, this person has worked a lot on themselves. Whoever this divine masculine is, they have worked on their emotions. They have worked on their, maybe the tangible things in life also, like gaining a sense of confidence in themselves through their work, through their, expertise, through, like really getting a handle on things, making their life stable, then also working on their spiritual beliefs. And now here they are, like, okay, how do I apply all this in real life now? And that feels a little wobbly, a little like Bambi, a little bit like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. But this person's not giving themselves enough credit. This divine masculine reinvented themselves. Hey, whether it's a masculine or a feminine, I'm just going to say, awesome, awesome. Like, this is, if it's a divine masculine who's like a male, this is a guy who has like, they're probably going to be more amazing because they made mistakes earlier on in life, because they went down the wrong roads, and they really had to like lose the ego and rebuild themselves from nothing and become like freaking amazing man, like this is a terrific character that we're seeing. It's not like we give them more accolades because it's like, oh, yay, because you messed up so bad, now we'll clap extra hard because you're better. No, but it's like they turn themselves into the best version of themselves because they chose not to hide from the mistakes they made. They, basically took full responsibility for it. And that's what makes this person super stable, super confident, super, like, this is an amazing person. And it's not because they're perfect. It's because they're human. And they were humbled, and they went through every tough thing about finding themselves, restoring themselves, working on all those aspects of their life. Pretty sweet. Pretty sweet. Okay, let's talk about our queen over here. This is like, I totally love this story. This is such a strong one. Choosing a deck for her is a little bit tough. Okay, I'm going to set that aside. We're going to go for this. All right, tell me about our queen. Our queen. Page of Swords. Our queen has perhaps been trying to gather information about lots of things in life through really observing. Our queen might have gone through a phase where she said, okay, I need to pour back into me. You notice how she's dumping that cup right into her own pond that she sits in. And then she said, I need to take kind of a back seat, and I need to watch and observe people, because I'm going to learn a lot maybe about the world around me, about what do I think of certain situations. Maybe she was like steeped in emotions in her own situation, and maybe in the situation if she dealt with this particular masculine in the past, and she decided, I maybe lost myself a little in the connection, and so I need to first pour back into me. But one of the things I want to work on is I want to figure out, how do other people do things? How do humans operate? What is it that maybe I've missed? Or what is it that would help me manage my emotions better? Maybe she really got, please don't take offense. This is not about you. Remember, I'm a storyteller. I am not a psychic. I never say anything true in any of these stories. These are always fiction. But as human beings, and I only have a human brain to work with, my storytelling is always going to come from a human perspective, right? So, and we're all human. So maybe there's going to be elements that we can go, oh, I kind of understand that. But just remember, take yourself out of the story. Don't take offense, okay? Because it's not about you, whomever you are. But I would say, given the cards that we have right now to describe her, she might have been somebody who loved so hard, loves, body, soul, and mind, gives it all, completely immerses herself. So then if there is something hurtful, it hurts 10 times louder, because she gave 10 times harder, if that makes sense. It's like a raw nerve walking around, so raw nerve for the pleasure of being around the person she loves, and also the raw nerve that feels that hurt that's so acute when the person that she loves makes a mistake, or maybe failed her, or just wasn't ready to match her in this. And I feel like she said, maybe I need to not only stop giving like that. Now, if there's anything wrong with that, but she went on a quest for knowledge about her own self, her own behavior. And I think she did that by looking outside of herself and thinking, okay, if I were in that person's shoes, how would I behave? Okay, if I see these other people doing this, how is it that they're not feeling that intensity of emotion like I do? How do people carry on that get heartbroken? I feel like she really worked hard to try to take a page out of everyone else's book, maybe to help her gain a little bit more balance with how, like, not to say like, okay, well, what's wrong with me, but rather like, what other strengths do others have when they're faced with really difficult situations? I feel like she too wanted to learn. She too has wanted to work on her own self to become, she's already a queen, right? But that's part of what makes a queen a queen. You don't stop learning. Someone who's really in a high position of knowledge, they know this is the tip of the iceberg. There's so much more knowledge out there. So I have to be broad-minded. I have to look for information, then I have to see what holds true. And I feel like she did that. But particularly about emotional things. How do I give to myself, and how do I look at things with a different viewpoint? This makes perfect sense because she was in healing mode. That Four of Swords very much went into silent mode, watchful mode, thoughtful mode. I don't think she went out and dated. I think that this queen has been solo for some time. And I don't even know if she had any history with the divine masculine that we've seen. She may or may not have. This could be a queen who went through her own experiences, and we're seeing her version of her journey. She really was thoughtful about things, and she really gave herself time, maybe alone, to heal. A lot of air energy and water energy, so thoughts and emotions on this. I really admire both these characters, because I can identify. She becomes a Queen of Swords. She learns about boundaries for her own heart, boundaries for how she does give or doesn't give to others, boundaries about, and you notice that she has the angel wings behind her. So she's been divinely guided to be better about keeping her own emotions in check, using logic sometimes so emotions don't just swarm. I almost feel like she may say, because this person is very raw and real with themselves. The Queen of Swords holds themselves to the same level of, is this correct? Is this true? That she holds everybody else to. She doesn't give special, I'm going to say, it's not a sliding scale of accountability. It's like, if I'm going to hold someone else to this level of scrutiny, I'm going to hold it to myself as well. So she's maybe asked herself, okay, in past situations, did I get too emotional? Did I react in an emotional way? Oh my God. I'm chuckling because I'm like, this girl right here, I have been this for sure. An emotionally, we're emotional beings, right? Some people squash that side of themselves. Other people like get submerged in it, and maybe somewhere in between being like submerged in it and being logical, like too logical to where we're cold and deny emotions. Maybe somewhere in the middle is that perfect sweet spot where it's like, I use my emotions and I temper it with logic, but I allow myself to feel everything that I feel without punishing myself for feeling it. But then I don't make, just emotionally charged decisions, because that's not always very fair or rational, but nor am I ice cold and I make clinical decisions about things that matter to my heart. That she's found the sweet spot. That's what I would say about this. Well done. Well done, characters. All these characters are like awesome in this. Okay, so hold on, let's change. What's the outlying, or I'll say overarching. That's the word I'm looking for. What is the overarching message? We have an 8 of Swords. We have a 3 of Staves in the reverse. We have a High Priestess. Both of our characters have come to the same very realistic conclusion, very honest conclusion. Both of them have been stuck, not moving forward, because there has been something that neither one had fully identified until now. There's been a vibe, like both people know I'm subtly understanding that I've been stuck. I'm subtly understanding that I haven't moved on, probably because it was in the blueprints that maybe this story either isn't over, or, and I say this because literally she holds the blueprints, right? So, and this is a thing where it's like, there were lessons to be learned here. Maybe both people inherently knew it. Both individuals knew that they got stuck in, I'll say, we'll call it purgatory for lack of a better word, but stuck in our minds until we figured some things out about why are we not moving forward. Well, because this was all kind of part of the plan. There's always been something that needed to still be achieved in this. And this could be each person finding this personal achievement where it's that breakthrough. She's broken through and she is the best version of herself. The masculine has broken through and they are the best version of themselves. All of this has been divinely guided. But what does that mean right now? What is the divine guidance? And there's our Queen of Cups again. It is to readdress the entire situation, readdress it for what it was at the time, so that it's looked at fair and square. It's not brushing anything under the rug. It's being able to look back on that interaction, that past, for both of them, and see what it was. And you notice here what we have is some apprehension on her face. She's holding her cup. She's in a room where the cup is right there on the stained glass. It's like emotion was everything. Emotion was really important, and there was apprehension surrounding emotion, but there was a desire to give this. There was something that was sincere and loving and wanted to be given, wanted to be experienced, and that was like the focal point at that moment. We have an 8 of Sacred Circles. We have a Princess of Staves. We have the 8 of Cups, and we have the 9 of Sacred Circles. You know what it is? It's looking back and saying openly and honestly, this was a major turning point in my life for both of them. This moment, they can think back to it and they can go, that experience that I had, that I shared with you, what it did is both of them, it kicked them into, okay, I need to go work on some things. Maybe this was incredibly painful for both of them, but learning the incredible painful situation that they both felt it. This was also possibly the most like monumental thing in each of their lives, because it made them really dig in, go separate and solo, and build themselves into who they are today. Also, a lot of questions about passion and loyalty came up. A lot of like seeking information from kind of like murky, like both people knew this was a really important exchange that was shared. So much so that it propelled each of them into some major journeys for themselves, very much separate personal journeys that they both wound up heading off on, and they both ended up with, the 9 of Sacred Circles. This is like the best version of themselves. We've already seen this. The play out in like intricate detail. But if that's what this entire situation has brought each of them to, that sense of awareness, then if they're I don't know if they're going to be able to like face and face, that's a new one, sit face to face and communicate about things. But that's kind of what it's looking like. And since we have the Emperor, this is really taking charge of things. This could also be like after a very thorough conversation where each of them, instead of focusing on, well, you did that to me, well, you did that to me, well, you need to prove this to me, well, I didn't do that, you can't be mad at me for this, blah, blah, blah. There's none of the finger pointing. Instead, it's like, if these two were to sit down and have a conversation, they would both say, I was really stuck for a really long time thinking about this and unable to move forward because I know that this has been really important for me. And do you know what I learned? I learned, that emotional energy was real. I also learned that it made me look at things a little differently in how I operate. I've really focused on building some things in myself. I went on a pretty deep spiritual journey. I really focused on building stability around me. I asked myself what's most important to me in my life. And then, I actually feel really good about who I am today. That's the conversation that each wants to share with the other. It's like, you motivated me to do all that. That's kind of amazing. But after conversations like that, instead of like, you hurt me, and so then I had to heal, it's like, this situation pushed me to do this work on myself. I hope that makes sense in the different language that we're using there. What I would say is that these are two incredibly healed individuals, and maybe that's why they're not saying, well, you did that to me, you did that to me. Now, obviously, don't write me nasty grams in the comment section and say, no, I was innocent, they did all this bad stuff to me. I only can read the story that we see here. Anyone who's ever been hurt, you didn't deserve that. Nobody deserves to be hurt. I don't tell stories where I try to minimize hurt or act like abuse is okay. I don't tolerate abuse at all. But this story isn't about that. This story is very different. This story is focusing on two people who've healed after some kind of an interaction that impacted both of them in a very positive way. So this is only that story where both people had some things that they were propelled into working on in themselves, not because they weren't good enough, but just because certain things trigger stuff inside of us, fears, stuff like that. And then we say, well, this hurt a lot, I don't want to get hurt like that again, so how do I heal this, and what did I learn from this? And somewhere along the way, they actually almost kind of feel like a little bit of understanding for each other, but also a sense of gratitude to each other. And that brings us to that Emperor. That Emperor is, I gotta say, I don't know if these two are going to end up like in a serious romance, or if they are, we have the Magician in the reverse. There's no hoping and manifesting and making it 5D stuff. There's no 5D at all. It's all 3D. This is taking charge right here, right now. Whatever these two want to do, they're going to take charge of it. They're not going to sit around and get in their heads about it and be like, wow, okay, so we had a great conversation. We both kind of have figured out a few things, and we're not mad at each other anymore. Now what do we do? And we walk away and we go, I don't know. I wonder what they're thinking. We don't cycle into another bit of the, oh my gosh, now I'm up in my head about this person. What am I supposed to do? This becomes completely like action-oriented, 3D-oriented. Everything is clear. If they want to see each other again, if they want to rebuild this, they will openly say, I would like to see you again. I would like to date you again. There's no, I wonder what they think. I wonder what I think. Neither one of them has any doubt, because they're in places now where they both feel a sense of security in themselves, and a sense of like security that I believe what this person is telling me, just because it's just the way it's being handled. There's no doubt in either of their minds. They both know that they've changed. I guess that's the best way to say it. So I'm struggling for like, what's the right words to describe why we have certainty. Why do we have this Two of Pentacles in the reverse? Because there's no wishy-washy. Same thing. We have accurate words being spoken. There's no 5D getting lost in our minds, wondering. It's only 3D now. This is, I want to move this forward with you. I want to see you. I want you to know that I want to see you. And they both are reacting in that same manner with each other. There's no questioning how they both would like to proceed. I'm not going to say how they're feeling, because we don't see a bunch of feelings. What we see is actions. Wow. Really? We're going to end on this note because it's 30 minutes long, but we have the Four of Staves and we have that Tower in the reverse. This was a connection that has been super powerful. This is a connection that they're well matched in possibly the most important way, which is with their healing. They are beautifully matched as healed individuals, which would be the best way to match with somebody, right? I mean, love is awesome, right? But then love can be complicated, and it can, stir up all kinds of things, delicacies and vulnerabilities and things that we're not comfortable with. But then when we've healed, and that's the place that we find that we match each other, is we've both become the best version of ourselves, and we mirror that in each other. What a beautiful alignment, what a beautiful relationship. So these two, it's not like, okay, I can forgive you for all the, whatever you did to me. It's not like that at all. This is I think that this was always a pretty high vibrational kind of connection, but with some fine tuning that needed to be done for each individual separately, because all they do is they wind up in an even higher frequency connection. But now it's no longer something where later it could be achievable and we think of this and we dream of this and it's 5D. It's all about now we can actually do this. And this has kind of always been I'll say it's always been the destination for this duo. Very nice flow here. I think that part about like the way each person approaches it, like there's a lot I want to tell you. This is what I learned after that. I went through, these healing phases, and I learned this about myself, and I learned this about myself, and I really like who I am today. That is such a refreshing and interesting dialogue for these characters to have, instead of, okay, well, tell me how you're going to apologize to me, or, this is how you hurt me. Are you sorry for that? I need to hear you say sorry. There's actually, it's an interesting thing. It's more like each person has gratitude for each other. Like, wow, because of you, this is what I was compelled to work on in myself. Thank you for that. It's a real different perspective on this storyline. And I know lots of people will hate this one. That's okay. Just click off when you don't like stuff. I don't ever want people to watch my free entertainment if it's getting in their head, giving them a bad day, because this is only entertainment. It's just like watching a movie. It's just like listening to a book on tape. Please don't ever think that I'm telling you how to live or preaching at you. I don't do any of that. I don't care how anybody lives. It's up to you. I support you, whoever you are, wherever you are. I hope you do what is in your greatest and highest good. Thank you guys for choosing to watch my free art. But I liked this story for a lot of I admired these characters. Let me put it that way. I admired the direction and the tone of this story. I'm not saying that I could necessarily be one of those characters. It all depends on circumstances. It depends on how everything would play out. I don't try to. None of these stories are ever about my life. I can admire the grace that characters have, and I go, wow, that's inspirational. I think I should be more like that. But I'm a human with lots of flaws, so I'm not always so graceful. Anyway, you guys, thanks for hanging out with me. Thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing. If you do enjoy my art, bye. Take care.